Welcome to Celebrate the Seasons February 2009 class for 2peasinabucket.com. For this month's layout, I've created another two-page sketch that you'll see here in just a little bit, and it will work for if you have about 7 to 10 photos. You can see there's some blank spaces up there that don't have a size written in the space, and you could fill those with extra photos or paper, whatever works for your particular situation and photos. I have already pre-cut all of the papers and photos and things for the layout just to speed up the video. And so if you want to see the sizes for those, you can go and download the PDF document at 2Ps in a Bucket, and it will give you the sizes of all of the pattern paper that I've already cut and the photos. The sketch is kind of broken down into a wider strip along the bottom of the layout with taller photos that are about 6 inches tall, and then a thinner strip at the top where they're about 3 inches tall, and then that decorative paper strip through the middle that is 3 inches. And I did want a small brown border around the layout that you can see, so you may want to trim down your papers and photos just a little bit, or just kind of overlay them like I did here. You can see on the right page of the layout here, I'm trimming off that brown border. It's about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch. And I'm going to take this leftover strip of pattern paper and I'm going to punch this scalloped design and make a decorative border. And then that's going to stick, I'm going to adhere that right underneath the edge of the paper, and it'll take up the rest of that 12 by 12 area. I'm just finishing up the layout by adding some really thin brown strips. That one's a little wider there, but there's thin strips that kind of separate the different elements, the photos and the pattern paper. It just gives it a kind of nice finished look. Those are just really thin, about 1/8 inch strips of paper. Now I'm going to start the embellishment for my layout, and I'm taking this heart 12-inch border die from Quick Cuts and ran it through the Revolution, and I'm going to adhere that to my layout. And here are some heart Cuttlebug dies, and I'm just going to take some scraps of pattern paper and cut a whole bunch of hearts. I'm just showing you a few here, but I'm going to cut a whole bunch of hearts out to use on my layout. I'm going to have to run the several papers through so I get a nice variety of styles and textures. And here you can see I just layered some of those die cut hearts right over my border just to give it a little more interest. And I'm going to apply some fun heart rub-ons that I had just in my stash. Just another way to add some embellishment and interest to my heart border. And here you can see a little bit closer up of what they look like with some embellishments. Now I'm going to go ahead and die cut my title, and I'm using this font from Quick Cuts called Mary Jane. It's one of my favorites. It's a nice classic alphabet, and I'm going to use a couple of different alphabets and papers for my title. So I'm doing that word there in the brown paper, and then here is the Stardust alphabet from Quick Cuts. And it's a little bit more of a fun scripty type font. And I'm being really careful to line up my alphabet because I'm using this flocked paper, but it does have like a notebook line through the background, and I didn't want it to be kind of going sideways or whatever, so I was pretty careful to line up my letters so that they would cut straight. And I went ahead and ran all of my alphabet and date through a Xyron sticker maker just to make it easy to adhere the title and date to my layout. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that real quick. Now I'm going to start adding some embellishments to my layout. So I'm taking these white number stickers, and I'm just going to adhere them to a piece of scrap paper and then punch it out with a circle punch. And then I'm going to take this scalloped punch and punch that out of some brown and layer the two together. And just for a little added interest, I'm going to go ahead and apply some rub-ons right on top of that accent that I've created. You can see I'm just kind of carefully applying just the part that I want. Put some pop dots on the back, and then I'm going to start embellishing some of those open squares next to the photos. And I have a few leftover heart die cuts, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere those as well. And some of them I'm going to use some pop dots on and stuff just to, I like the different texture and how some of them are a little bit raised up like that. I'm going to do the same thing next to this photo on the right side of the layout. Just applying a couple of those die cuts. And then I'm also going to apply some rub-ons to the heart there. Just adds a nice little embellishment. I like using layers of things. I think it adds a nice visual interest. There is a close-up of that. Just going to finish my title here. I didn't get it all put down before. And the different fonts are another way to add a nice interest to your page, and it makes it easy as well. And then part of my title is going to be made with this glittered chipboard piece from Making Memories, and I just layered another heart behind that cutout piece and used some pop dots to adhere it. And there's another glittered swirl that just adds a little bit more interest to my date. I printed the journaling on this Narratives Journaler's Notebook piece of paper. I just ran it through I adhered it to a plain piece of paper and ran it through my printer. So I'm going to adhere that into the square that I have designated for the journaling. And then I'm going to go ahead and embellish the rest of that square with a scallop border that I punched and some more of those die cut hearts that are embellished with some rub-ons. And I'm going to pop up a couple of them with some pop dots too. I really like the way these hearts add interest to my page. Not only do they go with the theme of this month's layout, but I could customize them by using my die cuts at home and the pattern papers that I'm using for my layout, so everything matches and looks really nice. And plus I could use those scraps of paper and get the most out of my supplies. And I overlaid that journaling card and one of those hearts a little bit onto the second page, so I just laid a cutting mat underneath my layout, and I'm taking a ruler and a craft knife, and I just want to cut that apart really carefully. And I thought my journaling block looked a little plain, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a couple more rub-ons to that to dress it up a little bit. That top corner there looked kind of blah after I got the journaling printed and everything. And I think that looks a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and add another word here to the pre-printed design on that journaling heart. And you can use part of a rub-on design. You don't have to use the entire thing. You get a lot of use out of them that way. And now I'm just going to finish up the layout. I'm going to just kind of pop up that scallop border a little bit, and I'm just going to add a little bit of string and tie it in a bow just to dress up my journaling block even more. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a few brads here and there on the layout just for a little bit added dimension and interest. Thanks for watching.